Before we get into the video, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. I mean, come on, what are you doing if you're not subbed to me by now? My content is fire, from stop motions, news videos, reviews, music occasionally. All my social media accounts are linked down below, and now, let's get straight to it. What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So, oh boy, look at the news we gotta talk about here today. Oh, before I talk about this Shockwave figure, I just want to get out of the way. You guys probably hear a little bit of an echo in this video and the video I dropped yesterday. I'm still moving into my new place and getting things situated. I will be getting a new microphone for this channel, and I'm gonna be getting some insulation pads in this room, so the echo will go away sooner rather than later, but just bear with me in terms of that stuff, guys. But with that out of the way, let's talk about this news right here. So, oh boy, got this pretty crazy studio series Bumblebee movie Voyager class Shockwave leaked images. I think this came in from an eBay listing I've seen people saying, and it says here on the TFW post, a member, JaAm took pictures of this, I think. So let's look at these images, give you guys my thoughts on it as always. Right off the bat, this dude looks gorgeous. The paint apps, the sculpted details, whatever else on this guy, anything your eyes can spot, it just looks fabulous. And man, for 35 bucks, this does not look too shabby so far. I mean, obviously we haven't seen a review on it yet, so I don't know any other internal engineering problems, but looking at these images, boy, he does look pretty nice. There are a couple issues in terms of, inaccuracies to the CG model we saw in the Bumblebee movie, which I'll be comparing later on here in the video. But to be honest with you, that's to be expected, especially, we've been going through with this with live action figures since 2007, almost 20 years, so it's to be expected at this point. But other than that, those couple accuracies, which I'll touch on, he's pretty much perfect to how he appeared in the movie. And y'all know me, I say this all the time with the Bumblebee movie figures and the War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron video game figures. These fit in perfectly with Chug. Like, oh man, like if you're talking about early 2000s, early 2010s Chug, especially that, with IDW and all that stuff, these fit in perfectly. So you can make up whatever fan fiction, stop motion series, photography, whatever you want to do, and this Shockwave would fit in perfectly with most of these other, comic or cartoon Chug figures. It doesn't even have to be movie figures, which to me personally, that's some of the main magic as to why these figures work so well in figure form. The designs on the Cybertron scene from the B movie, it just encapsulates perfectly what the Generations line is. And man, they really knocked it out of the park with this freaking Shockwave. Now, he doesn't have any circle jerk jack off hands, which is fantastic. Y'all know me on this channel, and if you don't, I'm gonna say it. Those circular sculpted hands where the thumb and the pointer finger is attached together looks absolutely stupid. I know it's the most common thing, a Transformer's hand sculpts, but whenever they do it, it just looks dumb. There is stuff that you could remedy it with in terms of angles with photography or stop motions, but still, it just looks terrible, and going this route is perfect. Or what they do on a few Chug figures here and there is, instead of having a big gaping 5mm hole through the hand, you could just make it a solid 5mm hole like what they've done on other figures in the past. I don't know why they don't make it more common, especially on these newer releases, probably because of, plastic and budget, but that's just my guess. I don't know for sure. So it's really great that they actually sculpted the hands in more of a natural manner, so it'll look good in pretty much any, photography shot or stop motion, unless if you're punching somebody, which even then you could finagle with, the angles and the posing and whatever you want to do with that. And you can also notice he's got this airbrushing or dry brushing, I don't don't know the correct term for this type of paint apps, but man, this looks pretty good where it is placed. You know, I'm being a little nitpicky here, but it would have been nice if they could have put that paint more on the figure. It's basically the same complaint with the Siege figures a few years ago when they used to do that battle damage paint on there. They just don't put enough on there to the point where it looks naturally placed. It just looks a bit weird when they do it like this, you know. But you know, I gotta give Hasbro the benefit of the doubt with trying in terms of the budget and, you know, what the designers were able to do with this figure in terms of whatever crappy budget the Hasbro executives give them for these figures. So at least they tried to give some extra paint detail and dry brushing on this release. In the tank mode, I mean, it's a tank mode. It's a Cybertronian tank. It's what you would expect these days. You know, we've been getting these type of Cybertronian tanks for a couple decades now, so there's not really much to complain about here. It's not supposed to be, you know, perfectly Earth designed tank mode, whatever people think it's going to be. I always hate those complaints online when I see people talking about how Cybertronian modes don't look realistic, or they just don't look I don't know, just complaints like that are just so stupid to me. I mean, this looks pretty decent to me. It reminds me of his Transformers Prime tank mode a little bit too, so I don't know if that was inspiration for this tank mode for Shockwave. Via TF Universe 16 on Instagram, he put up this little edited shot comparing it next to the CG render, so shout out to you for that. So looking at this, you could see right off the bat, the hip and thigh section is a bit too tiny for the proportions that you see with the rest of the body frame from the movie. Now that's a small complaint as far as I'm concerned, but it is noticeable. It is something that they did get a little bit wrong on this figure. But again, I don't think it's like a major big deal that they got wrong. And the other thing that you could see here is that his arm cannon is too long compared to what you see in the CG model. Now, people have brought up this could be mistransformed, and I think that might be the case, but I don't know. I'm not sure how that would fold in more, but obviously we haven't seen a review of this thing and how the engineering within it works, so I could just be totally not seeing how this could happen. But I don't know. I obviously hope it would condense more, because it looks like if you straighten the arm out in regular vanilla poses, it looks like the gun would be touching the ground. That wouldn't really look too good in my opinion, and it would be obviously pretty much inaccurate to the gun that we saw in the movie itself. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with his arm cannon. Hopefully that's mistransformed, but if it's not, you know, again, it's an issue that is noticeable. But I don't think it's really the end of the world. It depends on how clunky it is and if it gets in the way of certain poses, which if it really is as long as I think it is judging by this image, then it might hinder some vanilla shots and some sort of action poses here and there. But again, you know, it's not the end of the world if the gun really is that long. But yeah, those are the major inaccuracies that I could spot right off the bat. The midsection and the hips are a little bit too scrawny, and the gun is a little bit too long. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are really the only complaints and issues I see with the figure, just looking at these images. Let me know down in the comments below. What do y'all think about this Studio Series Voyager class Bumblebee movie Shockwave figure? I think this is coming out in Wave 2 of Studio Series next year. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But man, this guy does look pretty great. 2024 is going to be a pretty expensive year. Our wallets are going to be crying, but we are going to love every second of it because these figures look fabulous. Let me know down in the comments below. What do y'all think about this Shockwave figure? All my social medias are linked down below. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. My email is also down below if y'all want to hit me up about business inquiries, or if you want to message me about whatever, or if you want to commission a diorama from me, because I make dioramas for people for their stop motion business, photography, or just regular display shelves in your homes, you can either hit me up on any of my social medias or just email me and we can work out a deal. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.